Hello everyone, this is Double Dragon 3, the Rosetta Stone, for the Genesis Mega Drive, released in 1992. Billy and Jimmy, who are the characters from the earlier games, meet a fortune teller, and she tells them there's some evil or other in Egypt and they've got to collect Rosetta Stones to destroy it. Yeah, after they've crossed her palm with silver, I expect. This game was sold to us as moving away from cartoon-style graphics of earlier Double Dragons and looking more realistic. So basically it now looks like a kind of low-budget Streets of Rage. Incidentally, there are weapons shops. You can buy more moves, although they don't seem to really help much. So maybe you take it back to the shop then and get a refund. I purchased this spinning kick from you, and it's rubbish. If you don't give me my money back, I'm going to use it on you. Yeah, we can't actually, because it doesn't actually do much. I mean, graphic style aside, this doesn't really seem to be any different from the other Double Dragons. Power Records? That shop seems to be empty. Obviously not that powerful then. And yes, here we are. Walk along the usual sort of background, kick the doings out of the usual sort of enemies. There's people who seem to think they're in the mafia or something, going around in sunglasses. And that's just it, just all as usual. There's just nothing really to distinguish this from any other Double Dragon game. Or any other fighting game for that matter. I mean, the Streets of Rage games, each one developed. They put more stuff in each one. And with Streets of Rage 2 there were more moves. Streets of Rage 3 there were more kind of little features and stuff. With this it just never kind of moved on. I think there's some kind of power up in this that makes the playable characters bigger, so they can do more damage. I don't know if it's actually in this version, to be honest. I mean, there again, if the blooming beat 'em up itself is boring, then so what? Oh, here we are, watch out for the bikes. Stupid looking jump move. Looks like he's sitting on the Kazi or something. With his keys, it is quite fiddly to do this. You've got to do a flying kick and knock that bloke off his bike. Streets of Rage 2 did this kind of thing much better. There was supposed to be a couple of levels originally in Streets of Rage 3 where you went along on bikes. They never made it to the finished game though. And whether that was because of time or just memory or something. They're in the Bomber Games remake. That's a really good game, that is. If you're a fan of Streets of Rage, you ought to download that. There's a conveyor belt at the front there. You've got to avoid getting on that, otherwise you just end up falling down that hole. This just gets repetitive really quickly. There's just no real spark in this game. I mean, compared to things like Final Fight and Streets of Rage, this just feels like kind of beat 'em up by numbers. Oh, here we go. Big Bad Benny. Big Bad Benny's gonna kick your butt. Or whatever. They're kicking him in the nuts there. He seems to have some kind of strange animal nesting on his head. Now he's kneeing him in the nuts. Pretty sure that sort of thing is not allowed in official martial arts competitions. You know, he was obviously a great big bag of wind. Oh, he's some old bloke. He's presumably one of those wise old mentors who tends to appear in fighting games. Tells you the bleeding obvious. There seem to be two men there with heads made out of Lego. Either that or they haven't got the hang of sliding doors yet. Got their heads trapped in a sliding door for a week. And it's now level 2. Basically it's the same as level 1, except the enemies now look vaguely oriental. And there's some Chinese writing on the buildings. Yeah, looks like he's going to have to go to the doctors to have that healed. This bloke went to the doctor, and the doctor asked him for a urine sample, a blood sample, and a shit sample, and a sperm sample. His wife said, "Just give him your underpants, dear." Oh, I spent half an hour trying to get past a man in a red hoodie or whatever it is. And here we go with the amazing scrolling in this game. There are no layers to the background scrolling whatsoever. It just looks like he's walking in front of a big picture or something. There's stuff in the foreground moving at the same speed as well. This is supposed to be a 16-bit game. There are flipping 8-bit games that manage parallax scrolling better than this. Oh, here we go, Little Red Riding Hood. There's a story that Little Red Riding Hood is actually about lycanthropy. The wolf wasn't dressed as her grandmother. She witnessed her grandmother turning into a werewolf. I think she'd have realised if it was a flipping wolf in a nightie. The top right on the screen looks like someone spilt paint on it. I mean, ugly background this is. You start off with 15 lives, or coins as they seem to be called for some reason. This is not actually the arcade machine. Hey-ya! Or whatever. You will have to kill me first before you touch the stone. Is that some sort of innuendo? The next level is Japan, incidentally. You have to fight a lot of people with swords. That is as soon as I've got past Twinkle Toes here. And what is there to say about this that I haven't already said about a lot of dodgy Double Dragon conversions? It's just repetitive, boring. There is no incentive whatsoever to get any further. Generic backgrounds, uninteresting enemies. There are not really that many moves. The scrolling is absolutely pathetic. The music is just irritating. It's at least easier to get into than some of the versions, but that's not really saying a lot. I mean, by 1992, the Mega Drive had Streets of Rage. And it wasn't long off from Streets of Rage 2. By comparison, this just feels like something that belongs in the past. According to one review I read, this cost 45 quid in 1992, which is an absolute rip-off, especially as it's something that just never really comes alive. In fact, I'm pretty sure any fighting game fan will probably finish this on their first go, after which I can't honestly think of any reason to ever play it again.
Poor wretches whom the hand of heaven